About a month ago, I published a short story called The Courier God. Now, this short story I still like and I'm still proud of, but I've come to the conclusion that it's especially implausible, even by the standards of my stories. Unless, of course, you interpret the Mr. House present in the story as a different Mr. House. I will have a link to The Courier God in the description for context, by the way. So, what exactly happened? Well, I think what happened is Mr. House kind of fooled me. The character is so incredibly well written, and this is just a testament to how good of a job Obsidian did writing New Vegas, that he essentially hoodwinked me. I was left with the impression that Mr. House cares above all else about the restoration of humanity, that he would be willing to be a second in command if that meant restoring the human race. Now, this isn't really true of the canon house. It might be true of an alternate Mr. House, which is how I explain the Courier God now. I explain the Courier God as this is not the same Mr. House. This is a different Mr. House in a different reality where he's a little bit less stubborn and obstinate. But the canon Mr. House probably would not accept being second in command. Obsidian was, after all, pretty careful to cut out all the dialogue where you compromise or negotiate with Mr. House. He is an extremely stubborn man, very much a my way or the highway type. So if I were writing this again, I would probably write it so that the courier kills Mr. House instead, and the courier becomes the ruler of all humanity. I think my fondness for Mr. House sort of clouded my judgment, and also the fact that I'm autistic and it's often hard for me to, I'm really susceptible to persuasion, or at least I used to be. I'm better at it now, but when I was in high school, someone like Mr. House selling me on his vision, there's a reason I always sided with him, because he really convinced me that he was the only one who could lead humanity to the future. And it turns out, in a lot of ways, he's a lot like his snow globes, a preserved relic of a time long gone who's desperately trying to preserve what he remembers. He still has incredible intellect, and he can do a lot. He has done a lot. But I don't quite think he's the savior of humanity that he's depicted as in The Courier God.